friends, Caitlin Hall at the Hall Family Homestead here, and I thought I would give you a little bit of a tour of my elderberry patch, soon to be elderberry patch, and some of the wildlife areas that we are currently working with. So let me show you what we're doing. All right, so first things first, I wanted to show you our fire pit area. I'm pretty excited about what this is going to look like. It's basically going to be all grown up with elderberry at some point, and it's already growing, and create a really cool in the woods secluded vibe during the summertime. I have these little bird feeder thingies, just sort of using it as the excuse me, just showing the marker. Say hi to the goats. ADHD. Hi, Arthur. Excuse me, pollen. All right, so I have American witch hazel here. We've got this sitting here. It's ready to go. I'm just waiting on it to grow up. Gisela is doing a great job of being the Vanna White of the Ozark witch hazel. We have elderberry shoots coming up everywhere, and it is wonderful. Then, of course, I like to decorate my circle for different holidays around the seasons. And I think it was Llamas, but I put marigolds out here, and because we had such a mild winter, I have marigolds literally everywhere. Some more of this, and then that goes all the way around the circle. So the circle is basically inundated with elderberry. Along with the elderberry, I have mugwort going. And if you notice, I haven't raised this to the ground. I'm really just weeding on either side to give this plenty of opportunity to grow up and have some shade and a little bit more protection. Plus, having all of these other plants around is going to help maintain the moisture and keep the soil health. So that's mugwort. We'll have alongside our mugwort and elderberry, I have a Native American variety of cranberry. So hopefully these two will take off. I have two that I'm planting in with the elderberry and the mugwort. I'm hoping all of this will take off, and we will have a wonderful little circle full of berries that we can snack on as we are enjoying the fire. Here's a backside look of our fire pit area. Still needs lots of improvement. We're still working on it, but I like the way that it's set up right now. I feel like it's very natural. I feel like this is going to be a really nice place to get away, especially over the summertime. All of this stays pretty shaded, so it's a nice, cool place to hang out. Having the elderberry and having all of the cranberries, and I think there's even some blackberries in here as well. But having all of that grow up, I think it's just going to make it a really magical place, and a really just a cool place to hang out. So I'm looking forward to that. All right, so you're asking me, where did all the elderberry come from? Did you buy it or did you source it from the land? Well, hey, I sourced it from the land. So one of the cool things about Native American plants is that if you really cultivate the land and give it what it wants, it is more than willing to give in return. So this elderberry, I had actually chopped all the way down, you can see, to about here. So about 4 feet tall, because I'm 5 feet and this is about a foot ahead of me. I cut them at about 4 feet all the way around, and then I took all of the cuttings and I planted them along this row, because I figured if this is where the elderberry is naturally growing, it would be silly of me to uproot these and try to put them somewhere else. No, I'm going to keep the elderberry where it's happy. This is where it loves to thrive. And in return, by adding all of this wonderful stuff, we now have literally a forest of elderberry. I'm really excited about this. I'm going to keep cultivating this area and bringing it back up. I'm hoping, and I think the elder is going to bless us with a lot of elderflower, a lot of elderberries this year, and I'm hoping to be able to offer you guys a DIY, like a make your own elderberry syrup kit. That way you can keep yourselves healthy and happy all through the winter season when, you know, things are just gross. So this is one plant that I am trying to eradicate from our area. It is an invasive plant. It's not native. It is similar to like a legume or peas, something of that nature. I think it's in that family, but this is no good. This is not native. It's pretty invasive. It takes up a lot of nutrients. So I'm trying to get rid of this as much as I can. So if you have these in your area, you have my permission to chop, chop, chop. All right, let's take a nice little trip down Elderberry Alley. This is all elderberry through here. I haven't been able to get down here to really cultivate this part of the area, but I think I'm going to leave this part of our creek for the critters, for our wild creatures. They survive off of the elderberry as well, and use this as a place to nest and sleep and all of that good stuff. So I'm probably just going to stay along this line. Now, if you notice, there is some some honeysuckle back there. I'm doing my best to get rid of as much honeysuckle as I can, because it is invasive and it starts to suffocate our trees. I'm not going to eradicate all of the honeysuckle in my lifetime from this property alone, but I can do my best efforts to support the land by cutting off as much honeysuckle as I can, and prevent the spread. A few plants I have growing in with the elderberry are jewelweed and then these cleavers. These come up naturally on their own. I just decided not to weed whack them. I'm going to let these grow up. In the summertime, these have really pretty flowers on them, and they look like almost like little buckets or little jugs. I really like them. I think they're very beautiful for, you know, just the ornamental factor. But see, that's wild grape. But jewelweed is great for supporting your skin. If you come in contact with like poison ivy or poison oak or poison hemlock, those sorts of things. If you happen to see jewelweed, more than likely there is some sort of poison oak or poison ivy in the area. So just be careful of that. That's another sign, like a telltale sign from nature that there's something in the area that you need to be looking for. And then this is a plant that can help with the side effects of that thing that you need to be looking for. So if you're out in the wilderness and you run up against any one of those plants that I named, look for jewelweed and just crush it up, make a poultice, crush it up, mix some water with it, and then put that on your skin, and that should help clear up any of the skin irritation. Now, cleavers are pretty easy to find because they do look so unique. But one of the things that also makes cleavers pretty special is that they literally will cleave to you. So maybe Gisela will let me do it. Okay, she won't. They're literally going to cleave to you. So each one of these leaves, the way that this plant spreads is by sticking onto animal fur, onto your pants, onto what have you. And then these little seeds are going to travel everywhere. They have these little sticker things on here. Cleavers are pretty great. They're a pretty great plant. They are good for supporting your lymphatic system. Definitely research more into that, and I may do a whole lymphatic thing in the future. If you are interested, please let me know in the comments. But what these will do, if you make a nice tea out of them or make an oil or something and put them actually on your lymph nodes, it should help alleviate some of the congestion that comes with having, you know, clogged lymph nodes from an illness or something. Here's another plant that I let grow freely on the farm. I mean, like within their designated areas, but for the most part pretty freely, is pokeweed. So pokeweed is this plant, and it's also great for lymphatic support. There's also a lot of folk traditions of eating the leaves, like the tender young leaves, and making a salad out of them. Super healthy, full of vitamins and nutrients, all of that stuff, but with one caveat. If you do not know how to prepare this plant properly, it can be toxic. And when I say toxic, I mean like deadly. So please don't eat this plant unless you have had the training or at least the understanding of how to prepare this plant in order to stay safe. Essentially, the easiest way for me to explain it is when you use the roots for lymphatic drainage. What can happen is if you use too much of it, like if you eat it or try to make it into a tea or something, it can actually dump your lymph nodes. It's the best way I can describe it. But it's a massive dump of your lymph nodes, and that's not good. You don't want to clean them up that fast, so definitely don't do that. We have a lot more jewelweed through here, and I also have some more elderberry poking up. I literally have elderberry everywhere. It is the biggest blessing I could have had. Elderberry is a powerhouse for immune support and just all around great nutrients. I'm excited to have elderberry growing so close to my home, and I'm really glad that we have, you know, all the things that we need to help it thrive. All right, so this kind of goes all the way to the road. I haven't finished working on it completely, but let's check it out. As you can see, I still have some invasives that I'm still working on. This is going to be a lifetime dedication of getting these invasives out. However, I do let some of them grow. For example, this bull thistle, I allow to grow because it has been used as a folk healing traditions, really across the world, I guess. Don't quote me on that. I'm coming up with it on the fly. But bull thistle, basically what it does is it's really supportive of your joints, of your like rheumatoid issues, any kind of swelling, muscle, things like that. So anything that like you're stiff after a long day, or you have inflation happening in your body, so your joints are swelling up and they're really just not feeling good. This is something that you could put on your joints as a salve and help relieve some of that pain, some of that discomfort. So I will be using this to make a salve later this year. I haven't fully decided how I'm going to do that, like what my process is going to be. But I'm excited to let it grow, and I also think it just gives like a really nice focal point to the garden. Yeah, like I think it gives a lot of texture and that kind of stuff. Okay, so this is an area that I am currently still working on. There's so much to maintain. I just haven't gotten over to this area. This is, there's a forsythia bush here that I would like to reclaim. And then we have lots of this oriental bittersweet that is literally everywhere. So my plan, as soon as summer break starts and I can get out here before it gets too hot, is to rip all of these off. The forsythia will be fine. It's pretty resilient. Rip those things off, and then what I'm actually going to do is burn it. Oriental bittersweet is incredibly invasive. It is the bane of my existence. I don't even like to let it live anywhere around me. I'm constantly fighting it. So one of the best ways for me to make sure that it gets rid of is to rip it, try to get the roots out, and then burn it. I don't want this going to seed. I don't want any of these little nodules turning into roots and then climbing at my trees. Like, that's just not something that I'm into. No way, Jose. So this has got to go. It's pretty much the same story all the way through here. There's going to be some plants that I obviously keep because they're native and they're great, and I like the way that it looks over here. But I am going to clean it up a little bit so I can get to like the mulberry tree and some more of the elderberry. All right, this is the last like shady area I'm going to show you guys for the purpose of this video. This is all area that I'm trying to cultivate and get shrubs growing. Something that's going to hide the back of the brick because I don't really want to have to paint it. So might as well grow plants. So that's what I'm doing. All of these plants should spread fairly quickly. And then I'm also adding more plants as we go, just because this is a really nice area that gets plenty of shade, plenty of sun. So really like pretty relaxed area for some of our plants that, you know, they need a little bit of afternoon shade. So here I have Ohio spiderwort. And Ohio spiderwort, I don't actually know a whole lot about it. My uncle gave me this and I planted it to learn more about it. I'm pleasantly surprised. Like 10 out of 10, Ohio spiderwort. You look amazing. She has very pretty purple flowers. And if I find one that's in bloom, I will show you. I have some more Ozark witch hazel. We have some evening primrose kind of growing up around here. These are going to have really pretty yellow flowers later in the summer that are only going to open up at night. So that will be really neat. It'll be a nice little feature when it gets dark outside and we're ready to hang out near our fire pit. I have a forsythia bush here. This all came from a massive forsythia bush that when Jake and I moved in, we ended up having to relocate it. But forsythia is like super hardy. It wants to live. It's like, hey, I'm here. I want to live here. So all of the forsythia bushes that all of the parts of the forsythia bush that I divided and then put around the farm are just really excelling. You can use these as like a counterpart to Ozark witch hazel. It will also make like an astringent that you can use in beauty products and other things of that nature. Really cool plant. I love the way that it looks in the springtime. So over the summer, I took a class on, not summer, goodness gracious, spring break. I took a class on mushrooms and growing mushrooms and all of that jazz. These are the wood pieces that I inoculated with my psyllium for us to have mushrooms. So if you kind of see, it's going really slow. I feel like everything on the farm goes just a little bit slower than everywhere else, but that's okay because that's part of its magic. I like to think that my plants or the mycelium are working on their foundations instead of their nice blooms, because I want to have healthy plants for an extended period of time. Like, I want this to have a full life cycle, and if I can support that with allowing it to get a good foundation, then here we are. So time isn't real anyway. We'll figure it out. But all of these I've got, they're waiting. They're growing, they're doing their thing, and hopefully later this year we will have oysters and shiitake mushrooms. All right, guys, that's it. Hey, thanks for coming with me on this tour of our farm in some of our shadier areas, and to walk with me and let me show you the efforts that we're doing to rewild our area and support what we have here. I love talking about plants. I love this, and I'm always happy to answer any kind of questions or share the knowledge that I do have with you. And if I don't have that personal knowledge, I'm sure I have resources that could help you. should you want that knowledge, I'm happy to share everything that I know, because I think homesteading is really part of the future. It's part of families taking responsibility for their health and their livelihood. And I mean, this is my revolution. So if you want to, silly goats, if you want to do the revolution with me, I am totally happy to share everything that I know, and even all the things that I don't know, but we can figure it out together. So let me know in the comments if you'd like to see another area of our farm or have any specific questions. I will be happy to do a video about them. Thank you guys for following me on this ride. It's been really fun. All right, see you guys later.